Hey guys, what's going on? Ben Wu here from fisheast.com. Wanted to talk to you guys today about bait selection, in particular for striped bass. And if you're like me and you love fishing striped bass up here in the Miramichi River, you need to know two presentations. They're definitely going to help you catch more fish. And it's real simple because I break it down into two categories: vertical fishing and horizontal fishing. What do I mean? You know, when the bass are coming up from the ocean into the river, they're on their way up the river against the current, and they're looking for warmer temperatures. And when they're on the prowl like that, a lot of the times, as they're coming in the beginning of the season, they're going to be deep. And when I say deep, I mean 25, 30, sometimes 35 feet deep. To get to those fish, I want to use a presentation that has a slick profile, but very important, a thin tail, a big heavy jig head, and a big old hook. This right here is a Rivertide jig. It's made right here in the Maritimes, in New Brunswick, in fact. And it's designed for this purpose. On the packaging, you'll see they go from ½ ounce all the way to 2½ ounce. This here is about a 2-ounce jig head. This will help me get down and vertical on them, you know, when I'm fishing those deep water fish. This happens to be a bass candy style lure. As you can see, this one is a skirt. You can fish them with or without skirts. Up to you. The skirt really does add a little bit more bulk and a little bit more life in the water every time you give it a little bit of action. So very unique feature when it comes to these Rivertide jigs, and for me it makes all the difference, is look at the length of the shank of the hook. You know, it allows you to use these big 10-inch baits but get the point of the hook further back in the presentation, so when these big old bass grab it, you can be sure that you're going to get that hooked super well. So big sturdy hook, long shank, just almost a perfect head for the purpose of jigging these big old baits. So that's when you want to go vertical. When they get up shallow and the water temperature gets above 50 degrees, you're going to want to search for them in shallower areas, 8 foot or less. Cast out, retrieve. That's when you get into a swim bait style bait. You can get them small as 5-inch. Sometimes they'll go up to, you know, even an 8-inch swim bait. The point is the tail. See that right there? That's called a boot tail or a paddle tail. Okay, and that gives it a lot of vibration. What you want to do is experiment with different models. And what happens is the wag of these tails is really going to determine the presentation you're going to have. So again, matched up here with a skirt and that Rivertide jig again. So this one happens to be about 1 ounce. I like throwing in shallow water the 3/4 ounce variety. As you can see here, they're a little bit smaller. Okay, lots of different colors to choose from. Again, even for a small jig, that long shank hook makes all the difference. And I'll tell you, that point of that hook, ultra sharp. I mean, I've got a hook, I think I've kept it on my desk. It's got over 300 fish on it and still sharp as can be. So there you go. Horizontal presentation, you want to go with the paddle tail swim bait. Vertical presentation, look for something thinner. But the one thing that's the same, Rivertide jigs. Made right here in the Maritimes. Check them out, Rivertide Jigs on Facebook, at Rivertide Jigs off of Instagram. Ben Wu, I'll see you on the water.